Okay. I don't even know why I try this X anymore. I need to delete that. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Persuasion by the Pint. I'm Jonathan Taylor, along with
Sean McCool. And Jonathan, today we have a returning guest on the show. And we're going to be talking about kind of I put in the comments here, a little ticker that goes under our YouTube channel. I put how to increase know, like, and trust in a digital world.
Like it.
So it's a way to accelerate that process using a new tool. Not AI necessarily, but anyway, we're going to have Mary Catherine Johnson come on and talk about this. She's been on the show before.
Yeah.
And since she's a friend, we're not going to do a big bio. We're just gonna bring her on. So if you'll get the crowd ready, we will bring her on.
The chatbot mom, aka.
Woo! Love this. And chatbot mom I haven't heard for a little while. So I'm really glad to hear that one. Yeah, that's fond memories.
Like old school, right?
Old school. That's right. It's back from 2020. Actually, I got that nickname in 2018. I still have a couple of chatbot sons. Let's call them that. That's what they are. They're the ones that gave me that nickname because I was in the chatbot world and everybody's way younger than I am. So they all start calling me mom. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. That's
awesome. Interesting. So give people just a teaser before we do our beverages and before we get into the show, kind of why they might want to stick around, what you're going to be revealing and sharing.
If you want, I'm just going to get straight to the stats. How's that sound?
Okay.
If you want to learn how to adapt your conversations, your outreach to the current digital landscape and appeal to native digitals and get a 70% conversion to booked appointment from a cold DM on LinkedIn or Facebook,
wow,
then hang out.
70%
sold.
That's what we and our clients are getting. 60, 70, 80. I'm getting 60. One of our customers is getting 70 and our CEO is getting 80. Not one of our customers. 3 of our customers are getting 70%.
I guess we should have had the CEO on instead of you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that sounds very, very interesting. So, well, before we jump into that, let's see what everybody's having on this. I don't know where you get. Well, you're in California,
I'm
right?
in California, so it's afternoon. It's 1:00.
It's warm.
It's
sunny.
It's very sunny. It's getting warm. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is cold in Austin today. It's I don't know how cold, but like Austin cold, not like Minneapolis cold or anything. But I don't know. We're in the 40s today, upper 40s, which is cold for us. So
those people up in Michigan and
they're laughing at you.
They're like, that's shorts weather, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah. In California here, I think we're up to probably 65 right now, but I'm right along the coast. Do you believe we had a earthquake and tsunami warning yesterday?
I heard about that.
I saw that.
That alert.
Oh man. 7 point what?
7.3.
7.3.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Pacific Ocean. I'm 100 yards away.
So you were on evacuation notice.
I was watching because I can see the horizon. I'm like watching for a wave to come, and I'm gonna hightail it out the door and start running up the hill.
That's right. Wow.
But anyway,
but those are even hard to see though, because it's not like a crested wave. It's just a rise. You'd have to really be paying attention, I think, to see it coming.
Yeah, and we've got some rocks out there, so I could have seen it a ways out. The rock. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, wow.
It's not like that wave in Interstellar, when they're on the planet and you see that big wave going from the distance.
Yeah, no. Nope. Nope.
Tsunami has to be one of the most terrifying. It's just so fast and just sneaks up on you. No sound.
Yeah, and it was really exciting. I've lived in California all my life, and this is the first time we actually had a warning like this. I mean, it was a distinct earthquake warning.
Southern California, right?
I'm northern.
Are you north? Okay.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm about 60 miles north of San Francisco.
Okay.
So, I've
True.
been through Loma Prieta. I've been through a bunch of different earthquakes, not in the North Bay or in the Bay Area, but outside of it.
Mhm.
But we've never had warnings like that. It was amazing. I don't care how small the tsunami is. Give me the warning any day.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's wild. It's wild. So what are you drinking to recover from that terrifying incident yesterday?
I got my Kahlua and cream, baby.
Oh,
Nice and smooth and sweet.
what kind of cream do you use?
I just use regular whipping cream, whole cream,
Okay.
full
So not like
cream.
a Bailey's cream or anything like
No,
that.
no, regular cream. And
Okay.
the Kahlua is giving me enough flavor.
Have you tried horchata with it?
No.
That's a nice mix. Kahlua, cold brew, and horchata. It's a nice little mix.
So I just did for Thanksgiving. I did Kahlua, vodka, and the milky Christmas drink. Oh, just went
Bailey's?
out of my head. No.
Eggnog?
The eggnog. Thank you. Kahlua, and vodka and eggnog.
Mm.
Well, that was yummy.
That does sound
I
good.
love eggnog and bourbon around the holidays. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
There you go.
I'll have to bring that on in the next couple weeks.
Yep.
What are you having, Jonathan?
This is the last of my my beer garden stock.
Oh, goodness,
Sean.
you went through those pretty quick.
Actually, I didn't go through them. There's some people that've been sneaking into my fridge going through them.
Okay.
I got some guests that have come in and
Sure,
snagged a
blame
few
it
of these.
on them.
Yeah.
That's a fancy can.
Yes, this is the Ibauer Hell's Land Beer. It is a clear golden color that is inviting, promising, and a very pleasing brew. I don't know anything about it. It's just 4.1%. It's made in Germany, in Deutschland, and has a balanced flavoring with a gentle hop bitterness, ensuring a refreshing but not overly sweet, overly harmonious and versatile, refreshing on a warm day. So this is the last thing I need to be drinking on a day that's like 15 degrees outside here. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it tastes. I need something dark and warm, Sean. I don't need
well,
this.
I might have the thing for you here.
Good.
It's not warm anyway, but I am
there
having
you
a
go.
Mexican hot chocolate milk stout.
Yeah.
From Left Hand Brewing Company.
I think I've had that one before. Yeah, I think I've had that one before.
Yeah, we might have had it on before, but it comes out this time of year typically.
Yes.
So, and it's kind of mixed. It's about the same like my coffee. Get that little hint of chili on the back end. 6% milk stout with cocoa powder, chili, and vanilla added. So
yeah,
wow.
Those guys at Left Hand, they really come up with some really good stuff.
Yeah, they do. They have some good stuff. So
That sounds something I'd like to drink.
yeah.
That sounds like a little cayenne pepper in the hot chocolate.
I
Right?
know.
We were talking about
That's
that.
yum.
The coffee. How about the hot chocolate with a little cayenne?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like a Mexican chocolate bar that has a little spice to it as well.
There you go.
So
Yes,
let's cheers it up to a good show.
Yeah.
All right,
Cheers.
cheers.
To 70% conversion rates.
Mm-hmm. We like the sound of that.
Yum.
Oh, it smells delicious.
That sounds like money.
It does because booked appointment, right? So whatever you're going to do on the appointment, hopefully you're going to make some money.
That's right.
All right, so let's do a quick rating. Just as a reminder, Mary Catherine, we do 1 to 5 pints, 5 being the best. You can use decimal points all the way out as many places as you want. What do you rate your little cocktail there?
It's always a 5 for me. This is a go-to.
All right, 5 it is. When you bring your own drink, you mix your own drink. It should be a 5.
It better be. Otherwise, something's wrong.
Jonathan.
It's really bland. It's not too better, but nothing special. I'm gonna give it a 2.9.
So basically a Miller Lite of Germany.
Yeah, it's very light. 4%, very light beer.
Okay. Mine smells absolutely delicious. Like when you smell it. Drinking from the tulip glass here. I'm going to give this it doesn't have as much of the kick as I would like, but it does have the chocolate, a little vanilla. I like all the taste. I'm going to give it a 4.75.
Ooh. So it doesn't have that spicy kick.
Not as much as I would like. It's there, but it's very, very.
Yeah, but remember, this is a guy who has that every morning with his coffee.
Right.
So
That's right. Just need to keep a shaker of cayenne pepper around there, Sean. It's like,
yeah, I've noticed lately I've been adding more and more of the cayenne as I get used to it.
Yeah.
So, because Tamara started putting in hers too because of all the health benefits. So it's like she's like doing one dash. I'm like shaking like 5 dashes in there from the. Like, where's all the cayenne pepper going?
Yeah, that's the next thing. I'm sorry, you're going to have to do is start sourcing out different versions of cayenne pepper now instead of just beer.
Yeah, exactly.
If I snort some cayenne pepper through my nose, would that open up my sinuses?
I bet it would.
I bet it would, but it might do some other things. Might do some other things too.
You can just go piss off a cop too. He's going to spray you.
Yeah.
On the drive home, just flip him a bird.
It'd be like a snowball of bad things that would happen on an evening. One
on a
after
Friday night. Yeah, that's a nice way to spend your Friday.
You got some bear spray or something in the Jeep, don't you? Spray yourself.
That's all in the camping equipment. It's somewhere buried in a big old box of camping stuff. I'm sure
I'm trying to help. I don't know. I'm trying to get solutions, but all right. Before we lose our 0 viewers at the moment, since we're live, but Mary Catherine, don't worry, Mary Catherine. Most of our people are audio. So
yeah I get it.
Keep them guessing. Each other. But tell us. So, give us a quick recap on kind of your journey in the digital marketing world, and then what you're up to in this new tool and kind of how it came about, because it's kind of a new idea.
Yeah.
It seems to be a mix of a couple old things.
Yeah.
Which is always the best new idea, right? Just take a couple old things, mash them together, and there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Background.
Yeah, definitely. Because it is definitely a journey to get here. And this tool is really based on a framework that is relatively new, that takes the old framework and kind of stands it on its head. But I started in online business in 2003. That was when I started my first business. And it was a retail business, online retail, first maternity store online, and had great success until, of course, 2008 hit. And that was my first lesson in business. Because, of course, I thought it was just something I was doing wrong. I didn't equate it to the economy and the things that were happening around me. So I just kept trying to pour money in. And that didn't work. So then I ventured off into other things, wrote a book, started a podcast, did all these fun things, and landed when people kept asking me to help them with their marketing, because I had a podcast that was similar to that. So started helping people with marketing. Long story short, ended up as the chatbot mom in 2018. And that's when I really dove into marketing. But it was all the typical sales funnel stuff, right? You do an ad, you bring them through a sales funnel. For me, it was a chatbot, and spin them out at the end to either a webinar or a challenge or something, and then a purchase. And it's a really kind of a short sales cycle. It's typically a 4-day cart close, right? So we really want to push people to buy something. And that started kind of not working. And then, of course, we all know COVID hit. And coming out of that, I read a book called Play Bigger, which I absolutely recommend. It's by a team of our authors, couple of guys. They call themselves the Category Pirates. And Play Bigger really opened my eyes to the fact that I have 2 sons who are 23 and 26, and they are native digitals. And these native digitals are not like us, native analogs. And basically, the internet was created by native analogs in the same format as the old television and radio. So like the I Love Lucy show, the Tonight Show, it was free for anybody to watch with rabbit ears. But what they sold was advertising for all those eyeballs.
Right.
The internet was created the exact same framework. And now it's to everyone. who has an internet connection, not just a few local people with rabbit ears. So our native digitals, this is ubiquitous to them. This is just software is ubiquitous, online platforms, whatever. They don't even they don't follow funnels. You couldn't reach my sons with an ad if you tried because they have ad blockers everywhere. So people are scrambling in the marketing world going, all right, my funnels are performing as well. My ad costs are going up. My email marketing isn't performing like it used to because everybody and their brothers gets inundated with emails every day. So what do I do? And this book came in and talked about how native digitals are and the fact that we have to change this. And that came at the same time when I worked with another guy, Peter Lasowski, who he had another software called OpenLess App back in 2020 that I helped him launch. And he's like, you know what, Mary, I spun off this little piece of OpenLess App because OpenLess App was a monster of a software. He says, I spun off this little piece of it and it's interactive videos. And he says, can you come and help me figure it out? And so I'm a tester, I'm a tweaker, and I'm a person who loves playing with software and breaking it. So I broke it a few times and figured it out. And it's instead of sales funnels, we help, and it adheres to buyers funnels. So just give me a second here. You talk about sales funnels. At the top of the funnel is you capture leads. The middle of the funnel, you persuade them to do something. And then the bottom of the funnel, you sell them.
Right.
When you buy something, is the first thing you think of, oh, I'm going to go call a salesperson. Nobody.
No.
Never.
Nope.
What do? You do your own research.
Yeah.
So now we have the buyer's funnel, and the buyer's funnel is from the buyer's perspective, not from our perspective, but the buyer's perspective. The buyer is going to be aware of you at the top. In the middle, they're going to consider and be curious about you and do their research. And at the bottom, they're ready to buy. So it's the same funnel, but from the buyer's perspective. So the interactive video allows us to build relationships at scale and allow the buyer to invite us into their world and create a relationship. So that's the reason for the 60, 70, 80% is because they don't want just, let me ask you, you're both in relationships, married?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Would you be married to your wife if all you did in your building your relationship was text her back and forth? Yeah.
No.
Probably not.
No. So we build relationships with people, looking them in the eye. So buying is a relationship. It's no different.
Yeah.
So that's all it does. But it allows you to invite the buyer into that conversation in the video.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, the way this DM goes, very simple. Hey, thanks for connecting. You connect first. Hey, thanks for connecting. Really appreciate it. I'm someone who wants to make an impact in the world. This is what I say. And that means I want to build a stronger relationship, not just be pitch slapped. That was we call it. So please don't do that. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about what I do. I work with a company called Relatable. We do A by C, X, Y, Z. We help you accelerate the relationship, the trust and time that it takes to build a relationship. So I'd love to have a conversation, see what you do, and find out if I can help. Here's my calendar link. And my calendar link actually pops right up on the video, and they can click it right there. And so that's it.
Wow.
We have customers who are actually adding things to that and asking questions along those lines after they introduce what they do.
Yeah, you sent me one as a demonstration where you asked a couple questions like, would you be interested in learning more about that, or yes, no type questions. Mm-hmm. So kind of like a choose your own adventure feel to it.
Yep.
And it kind of reminded me of like the mini chat days.
Yes.
But with video.
That's right.
Is that how you would describe it, or?
I wouldn't. So in the functionality, definitely. Mm-hmm. So if you answer a particular way in one of those interactions, then I can either qualify you or disqualify you or send you to a different part of the video. Okay. If you answered no, I could send you another part of the video without actually editing the video. All I got to do is record it in one recording, and it doesn't matter if there are pauses or messy points. I just basically send you to the correct place in the video that basically answers whatever that question is. If you said no, then I'll say, okay, great, no problem. Have a great day. Here's some resources that you can do. And if you said yes, then I can continue in another part of the video talking about what it is you want to do. But that's in the functionality, it is definitely this similar. Like that's why I said it's taking old and kind of putting a new spin on it. But in the purpose, it really is. If you just want to use this, different. Yeah, it is. If you just want to use this to just get into people's wallets, you could, but that's not. You're not using it to what it's designed for. I mean, like, let's say you're an HVAC company and you want to help people tune up their furnaces getting ready in the fall. Well, you can put reminders in the video. Hey, I'm your tech. I'm going to come out. I'd love to make sure your HVAC system is ready for the fall and winter, so we don't get an emergency call for you and have to charge you, weekend rates. So here, why don't you put this calendar reminder on your calendar, your schedule reminder on your calendar, so that you can make sure you're ready for the fall. And they tap a button on the video. It opens up their calendar. It puts this reminder on the calendar, and then it gives them a push notification for whenever the time is going to be. So imagine that with webinars and challenges or book launches or whatever.
Wow.
So it's not just that's just the functionality of the back end. The purpose is relationship building at scale.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's a huge, I mean, to me, it's like that builds a lot of trust throughout that, because you're giving them a lot of options that they don't have to just go through an entire video. You said, I love your term pitch slapped. I wrote that down. I got to start using that.
You got to, because that's what they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there's somebody send me a link.
You're respecting their time, which I think is, you're respecting your customer's time, I think.
So which perspective is it, right? Am I going to force my customers? Think of the typical webinar or the typical funnel that goes to a webinar. I'm basically saying, I'm going to monologue at you.
Yeah.
You listen to me. I've got the expertise. I'm just going to blah, 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 blah. And you have to listen to it. Yeah. This is more of a dialogue. This is more about, okay, here's kind of what I'm doing, but what do you think?
Right.
And then they actually are invited into that conversation. And so in that sense, it's trust, it's respect. Is this where you want to be or not? But it's from me. Do you know, I think it was HubSpot that did a study, or it could have been Gartner. I can't remember who did it, but the study was 77% of potential buyers, when they see a video from the CEO, they are more likely to buy. They are 77% more likely to buy. That's the quote. Potential buyers, when they see a video from the CEO, they are 77% more likely to buy. They are 56% more likely to recommend that company when they see a video from the CEO. It's not a brand anymore. They're not building the relationship with the Nike or the whatever. They're building a relationship with humans. That's what I mean. My sons, you have to be human. The software is nothing to them.
Right. That's the thing that's so common. It's like water for fish for them. See, we grew up with the opposite, but like digital became interesting and cool because we were sitting in rooms staring at each other when we were bored. Right. They're doing the opposite. Like humanity is kind of like, oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What does this thing do if I talk to it?
Yeah.
That's an interesting worldview. It's like completely flipped.
And this book calls them a new breed of human, because in a sense, they have been raised with this whole technology. It is just part of their daily lives. My sons, they have laptops, but they do everything on their phone. Everything.
Oh, I'm amazed when I see somebody that's under 30, but definitely under 25. The way they maneuver on their phones just blows my mind. How fast they can switch between apps and like, I mean, I have a hard time going between tabs on my laptop, and they're switching apps faster than I can.
Yeah.
And they're building jot forms in like 30 seconds on their phone.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible. So,
it's a different breed, right? They have had to. You want to talk about manual dexterity? Are you kidding? Right? Video games started that.
Yeah.
It's eyesight too, because I mean,
Yeah.
you got to admit, as you get older, I don't have the same eyesight that I had when I was 20
Yeah, I got my
to
glasses
put the
on.
reading
Yeah.
glasses on to
Oh,
see
yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I've got the text on my phone as large as it'll
Yes.
go.
Large.
And
Oh
my,
yeah.
and,
I'm
my
embarrassed
daughter
when
just
my
makes
kids
fun of
see
me.
that. When my
Yes.
kids pick up my phone and they see the enlarged font.
Yeah, I pick up my daughter's phone. I'm like,
You
"How
can't
do
read it.
Mommy,
Yeah.
what is this?
I
Yeah.
know. I
You
know.
know the
I
text
know.
goes bigger, right?" And then she's
Yeah,
like,
I know. But why?
Yeah.
"So yeah."
But
So
not only that, they they do business and they interact in what's called dark social, not dark
Yeah.
web, but dark social. And
What is
those are
that?
things that typically with our marketing tools we can't track. So dark social is the private Snapchat groups, the private Discord channels, the private Slack groups,
Yep.
the private Facebook groups that basically we can't track when someone is sharing our company or sharing our information. It's coming from those groups. So when you look at your Google Analytics and it says direct, at least 80% of those direct links are coming from dark social.
Yeah.
So it's somebody talking about you in a private group that you can't track where they are, and that's how people are getting to your site.
Oh yeah.
And so that's how they interact. They ask each other in those groups. They don't go to my mom friends go onto Facebook. What do you think
No.
I should, where should I get? They don't do that.
No, they go to my kids talk about Discord all the time, like
All
when
the
they're
time.
talking about things.
That's it.
and I'm
Reddit.
like,
Reddit
exactly.
threads.
Reddit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's a
private
whole
Reddit
new
threads.
Yeah, private. Exactly. It's a whole new
Yeah.
breed. It's a whole new way of communicating. So think of coming back to Relatable, thinking how you can, there's what's called a share feature. And so this app was actually built for your phone. So desktop is the secondary version. You can do it on desktop, but it's built for your phone. So imagine building a ManyChat flow on your phone.
Okay.
That's what this is, but using video. So in there, when let's say that video that I sent you, if I said, hey, share this with someone you think might benefit from this information. Well, there's the little share kind of symbol up in the corner. You click that, you click text, and your phone contacts open up. And you can text that video to any or all of your phone contacts, and it goes phone to phone. So you don't pay I as the business owner don't pay SMS charges because it's going person to person. So you want to talk about, again, dark social. You can take advantage of that by asking people to share information in their circles right there from your actual video.
That's interesting because I can feel my own resistance to I don't know that I would share text to text, but they do. It's just a different culture.
Yeah.
Probably because of all those, referrals, MLM schemes I've been a part of in the past. It's like,
and they haven't.
Yeah. Who do you know that might be interested in
that? Yeah.
So,
and the same with email. So if you share it in email, it's really cool because it actually populates with the thumbnail from your video so that you can see that it's a person, right? It's not just a text with a link. Same thing on LinkedIn or Facebook. When you post this on LinkedIn or Facebook, it actually has the thumbnail so you can see it's a person that, and you can make that thumbnail a GIF. So now it's moving. So now they know it's a video.
But they still have to click through for it to activate, right?
Correct. So you post it on Facebook or LinkedIn, but in order for us to make it interactive, what happens is you have the platform, and where the platform is, Relatable is just overlaid right on top of it. So it's a progressive web app. It's not a separate app, separate web app like you have to go through Apple and Android for. It's a progressive web app hosted on a browser on the internet. And so basically, Relatable just takes your video and overlays these interactive elements on top of it. And so then you take that and you share it, and the representation of it is on Facebook. But when they click it, they have to come into the Relatable environment in order for us to overlay the interactive elements on it.
I see.
So I have a question. I'm doing some, cold outreach to corporations, and one thing we know about corporations is they don't like to click on links that they don't know.
Yep.
So they'll click on a LinkedIn because it's proven, but they have a pretty short list of what they can click on inside of an email. So how would that affect that?
So what do you mean when you say they click On a LinkedIn, because that's what they know. So they'll click on a link in a LinkedIn post.
They'll click on. So if I send them a cold pitch email, because I have their email address and their title, and if I put in under my name, I put my LinkedIn profile, they'll click on that because that feels safe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
If I were to put
but
a random GIF in there, I don't know that people would click on
or a
that.
YouTube video, because some of them block YouTube. Like some
Yeah.
companies will block YouTube because I don't like their.
So how to have y'all adapted to that, or is
so yeah, it would have to be the thumbnail that they would click if you were putting it in email.
okay.
And if this is cold, then it would be the text of the message basically compelling them to click the thumbnail, because they don't have to click the link. There's not a link on there. It's an actual image.
Okay.
So they would have to click that image. The way this is going in,
I wonder if that would get blocked or not.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it would. We'd have to try it. But I know on LinkedIn, you know, when you click a link, let's say you have a post in LinkedIn and you have a link in that post. Yeah. Anytime you click that link, even in the post, it's going to pop up that window on LinkedIn saying, "Are you sure you're leaving LinkedIn? Are you sure?" Well, we don't have that. That doesn't happen with this, because they're clicking the image and LinkedIn doesn't know we left. Because it's a progressive web app, LinkedIn doesn't know that they clicked, because it isn't a link. They're not clicking a link. They're clicking that image that has a backlink into it. And so LinkedIn doesn't even know they left. So we don't get that that message, that nasty message on LinkedIn or Facebook or anything like that.
So that's how you're able to use it in like in inbox messaging on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but even in see that because LinkedIn has coded their API, we do get that message in the DMs.
Okay.
But even with that message, we're still getting 60, 70, and 80%.
Oh, wow.
Because it's the point of compelling people to click. You have to have a reason. I'm not just sending them an image going, "Hi," right? Yeah. I'm actually saying, "Thanks for connecting. I really appreciate it. Let's get to know each other a little bit better. I made this video for you to let you in on what I'm up to. Please."
So it's not the initial, you're just, so what you're finding success with right now, it sounds like, is you're doing your cold outreach, and then if they respond, your next step is the video.
Correct.
So you're not leading with the video.
I'm leading with the video in the DMs, but the first thing, so here's my process. I use a tool called Linked Helper. And in Linked Helper, the first thing I did was send, and you might have seen this, Sean, what is the word I'm thinking of? It's late in the day and I've had Kahlua, you know?
Did you say, was that Linked Helper?
Linked Helper, yeah.
Okay.
And it's an automation tool that acts like a human, so you're not going to get caught and banned. But the recommendations or endorsements, like on LinkedIn, when you say you have certain skills, well, you can go endorse people for their skills. Well, I have a thing on my Linked Helper, a flow where I look at all my first connections and I endorse them for their top 3 skills that they say they have. That right there, they're already connections. So they respond back, "Thanks for endorsing me." And then I respond with a video. "You're welcome. Here's kind of what I'm up to. What is it that you're up to?" So that right there got me the 60%. Now I've got Linked Helper going to my second and third connections specifically for a particular industry. So I've done a search on LinkedIn. And for this, I'm looking at agencies. And so I do a list of agencies. I've got about 1,500 of them or something. And so I put them into Linked Helper and I put through the process to connect with them first. And when they connect, I wait a day or two and see who's connected. And then I send this DM, this video in the DM. So it's still a cold DM. I've never interacted with them before. They just connected with me.
Sure.
But I'm not pitch slapping them, right? I'm not going, "Hey, buy my thing," or, "Go to my webinar," or whatever. Yeah. And it's just a calendar link saying who I am and what I do, and let's get on a call to have a conversation.
Wow.
So what are do you have any like kind of success stories so far that you've had that you could kind of walk us through? Like, what is the industry and kind of what's happening for them?
Yeah. So one of them is using this technique, but she's looking for customers in her high ticket service, and she uses AI in companies to help them clean up their data, make sure that their customer journey is effective, and then increase their ROI. And this gal got some pretty amazing results when she was in corporate America anyway. She increased the run rate for her corporation that she worked with in 1 quarter by over $15 million, just using AI to do those things, clean up data, blah, blah, blah. So she's reaching out and she's using this tool, and she's the one that was getting 70% of her responses to book an appointment. But her twist in this was actually doing that qualifying question in this. It wasn't just a straight DM like I just said. It was, hey, thanks for connecting. Really appreciate getting to know you. This is what I do. And here are the 3 business problems I solve. Which one of these business problems do you think you need help with the most? And then they would choose clean data, customer journey, increase.
So those 3 options pop up on the screen on her video. And then as the viewer, I'd just click one.
Yep. They click it. And she has a specified response for whichever one they choose. And so if they say clean data, it goes to the clean data section of her video. She says, I get it. This is the place we all have to start. We think our data is great, but it's not, blah, blah, blah. That's why we need to get on a call, and maybe I can see if I can help you find the first place you should look to clean up your data. Here's my calendar link. If they say customer journey, same thing. So that's what we would call a set and forget, an evergreen video. You don't have to keep changing that all the time.
Right.
There's another gal that has a blog, and she makes her money from her blog. So all she cared about was sending more traffic to her blog. So she did 3 videos, 1 each month, because she writes a blog post once a month. So the first time she did it, she wrote the blog post and she took one of the pieces. It's more like a list style blog post to help. She's a leadership coach. So she has certain recommendations for certain things that people can do, the 5 things you could do to reduce stress, things like that. And so she took one of those things and she talked about it in a video. And usually these videos are less than 2 minutes or less, right? Talked about giving advice on that one thing. Said, if you want to see all the other 4, here's a link to my blog post to go ahead and check it out. And you can see the rest. And so she got a 200% increase to viewership of her blog. But more importantly, this is the relationship part, she had a 300% increase on the time they spent on her site. So it's not just that they read her blog. It's that they started the relationship and were more curious after the fact.
So she was doing it. Just let me recap that, because that sounds interesting. Because I like the idea. I think we're going to see more and more in 2025 people going. I think blogs are coming back in a big way, and I think if you can find out ways for people to get to that. So she was posting like one of the 5 listicle items on LinkedIn or wherever social.
Yep.
And then
as a video on social. She posted it on social, said, hey, here's, I have a new blog post, 5 tips. Here is the most important one. Don't miss this one. And that would compel them to watch the video. And then at the end of the video was a link to her blog post to watch the rest.
Wow.
And she asked a question in that video. So again, the whole point of it is not just monologuing at people, just talking. So
that was an actual, like, relatable video that could be posted on social.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Cool. They can be, that's exactly it. And so she would say, here's the thing. And here's one of the things that you should do. So which one of these things do you think you can implement in your life right now, starting tomorrow? And then she would list those 3. So
it's literally just one step. It's not like I got to do a video on social with a link to the relatable video and then to the blog.
No.
You can do it right in the
right inside the app. Yep. That's it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I've also been experimenting with doing the native, because this isn't in the native video app for the social, right? So we all know what the native Facebook video looks like. And we know what the native LinkedIn, they're made to have their own native video. So this doesn't look like that. It looks like a GIF. So you'd have to click it. You have the text above it. And but I've been experimenting with having a native LinkedIn video or Facebook video that points people to the first comment. And that's where I put the relatable too. So I'm looking at the engagement between the native video and the relatable video. And so far, the engagement for the relatable video has increased my engagement by 200%. But I don't know. I don't have anything to compare it to the native video, so I'm going to do that next to see that comparison. But yeah, so things like that. Book authors, that's another one that we're having great success with. You have if you write a book before you publish, if you put, there's a book that I wrote with, it was co-authored with Mark Schaefer, the most amazing marketing book ever. I wrote the AI chapter, and I didn't get the QR code in before the book went to print, but I interviewed each of the authors and built a relatable with the purpose to get people to get to know the authors and how they came up with the information on their chapters and who they were. And so I did those video interviews and connected them all together and allowed people to take their own adventure with the content of the book. So an author could take a QR code and put it, let's say they have their book up on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, they can put that QR code on, because you don't get to capture the data from anybody who looks at your book until they buy it. You don't get to know who they are. Right. So you can tell them, see an interview from the author before you buy this book. And so they scan the QR code and a relatable comes up. And so the author can talk about, can you imagine Stephen King talking about how he came up with Pet Sematary? How many people would, right? I mean, they're going to, yeah. And if it's an author they don't know yet, and they're gonna be intrigued by this book, find out how I came up with the idea of this, and they scan it, and now they're in your relatable, you gather an opt-in. Now you have that lead. Yeah. Instead of just having Amazon have it. And then cool. At the end, you say, go buy my book. Here's the link to go buy the book on Amazon. Right.
Yeah, I love that. I've been telling people, I've been doing some ghostwriting this year for people. And one thing we're doing on the book covers, either the front or the back, since that's what shows up on Amazon, is we're putting like a big, not big, but a noticeable link for the like book bonuses or something like that, on the cover instead of it being buried inside the book.
Yes.
Because some people will bypass the book and they'll just say, oh, let me go get the bonuses.
And then you take those bonuses and say, bring me the receipt for the purchase and I'll give you even more.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm writing a book and it's on this whole mischief thing, but it's going to change because of the changing landscape. So if you're writing a book about AI or any of the current trends, you're going to have to rewrite that book pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, what I'm doing is I'm putting a QR code at the end of each chapter that I think is going to change. And instead of buying the new book, they just take the QR code and they'll get in a relatable, they'll get the automatic updates for that chapter.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So I don't have to go and have to rewrite something. They can have that book and they can stay connected with me as that content changes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one reason I love AI, but it's one reason I didn't like jump into it. It was like, oh, this is going to change so fast. That's going to be exhausting.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's it's already changing crazy. There's a tool that I use called Perplexity. I don't know if you've heard about that one, but here's a good marketing tip. They have something called Perplexity Pages if you're a pro member, and Perplexity Pages are basically like the new SEO. It's AEO, right? Answer engine optimization. You can create a Perplexity page for your business. And through Perplexity, they'll guide you through. And in that page, it sets it up for answer engine optimization. So if you type something on Google or you're searching on an answer engine, ChatGPT, and you're going to do a search for something or ask a question, you've basically created a page about your business that will have it more likely to show up as the answer to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's the SEO juice from that is I'm having clients who are just getting huge SEO boosts and AEO boosts just from a Perplexity page. I'm sure Google will catch on to it soon enough and wipe it out. But
I can't believe Google didn't figure out what Perplexity's doing from 24 hours.
I'm sure they will. If they haven't already, I'm sure they will.
They're going to have to. I mean, if they don't, that will be one of the ones that'll be the digital camera coming in and knocking them off if they're not not careful, or the Netflix to the Blockbuster.
Yep. Totally.
I mean, people are already, I spend more time now asking chat questions than I do Google.
Completely. I don't
Yeah.
hardly go to Google at all. I go to either, depending on what I want, but most of the time I go to Perplexity.
Yeah. Yeah. For general, like big questions, I go to chat. If I'm looking for specific like source material, then I'll go to Perplexity. But yeah,
I actually organize
amazing how
things.
how fast that changed though.
It really isn't it though? I mean, because now we have the opportunity. It's not just a search. So it's almost like a 2D thing in I think of Google now, right? It's
Yeah.
just 2D. But now you can open up your questions. You can extend what you can ask and use it more as a partner, right? As a guide. Instead of just asking a 2D type of question of who sells this, or where should I buy this, or
Mhm.
where should I get that? You can be
Yeah.
much more. I created a whole org chart for a startup SaaS with very specific requirements with Perplexity helping me out. It was same with email. You get, or not email, posts, social posts. You can get
Yeah.
very specific. They can help you create a whole content calendar and a
Mm-hmm.
matrix for your 30-day content calendar.
Well, too,
Yeah.
even when you're asking like whether it's chat or Perplexity, like you said, you need to be much more thorough in your question
Mhm.
than you would on Google. Where Google, you're trying to keep it to one sentence, kind of a
Yeah.
phrase.
Mhm.
Now you can be like, "Here's my situation.
Yeah.
You know, I'm this old. I got this many pounds to lose. Like, you know, I
Yep.
live in this part of the country. I've got these pieces of equipment. Like, help me come
Yeah.
up with an exercise plan." And it's
Completely.
like, you
Yep.
know, and you could never find that on Google.
No,
Right.
and I guarantee you they have that exact same sound when they're doing it.
Yeah. Yep.
We just can't hear it because it's in some server somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
they should
Yeah,
put
it's
sound effects
crazy.
on that.
Yeah, they should. But that's
Little-
that's the only AI component that Relatable has in it is script writing. So you can actually record, you can put the script, it has a teleprompter, the whole thing inside Relatable. And again, it's built for your phone. So we're very strict on people, not strict, but highly recommend people to use vertical video, right? Get your phone out and do it on your phone.
Yeah.
And so
Sure.
you can use AI to create your script. So AI can prompt you along, and you can put in all your details of what kind of business you are and what's your main objective and all those things, and it'll write the script for you. And then it has the teleprompter, so you can just record it right there at whatever speed and whatever font size and blah blah blah, and then add your questions and do your thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm
All
having
right.
a blast.
It's pretty
So where can we find it? That's the next question.
Be relatable.pro, and
Be-
I'm offering an accelerator program for people if they want to come in. It's a free accelerator, and it's a 2-hour session to get your video done, upload it to Relatable, because they have a 15-day free trial. So test it
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
So I'm offering that free before your free trial. Get your video done, put it in there, and yeah. And if you go to berelatable.pro/accelerator, you'll see the information about the accelerator program. And I'll be offering those probably maybe twice a month.
Oops. Let's see. I'm gonna
Yeah,
drop
that's it.
those. I'm gonna drop those in the comments on Facebook and YouTube for our
Mhm.
listeners if they want to find it there.
I love the idea about, like, especially with books, because that is so anytime you're dealing with any kind of technology, whether it's AI or anything that's in the how-to or nonfiction realm.
Oh
I
my
think
goodness.
that
Yeah.
I think it's like this is game changing, because you
Yeah.
can add, as you mentioned, these parts to these chapters that are bound to change in a short
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
And you can really get people in your wheelhouse to update them, and
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Well, and think about if you're talking about a particular chapter and you have your worksheets or your whatevers,
Yeah.
you can have a video explaining or talking about that, not
Mhm.
just the text of
Yeah.
the book, but
Yep.
actually you walking people through, okay, now here's one of the pitfalls you might have, and here's one of the things you might want to do, and blah,
Yep.
blah, blah. But it's the author, it's you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all about relationship building, and we
Right.
can't build relationships over text.
Yeah.
It's eyeball to eyeball. We need
That's
to
right.
see you. You see your mannerisms, your their voice inflections. If people don't want to watch somebody that talks with their hands like I do, they ain't going to be part of my community.
Right.
They're not going to watch me, right? Because that's what I do. So, yeah. it
Always
lets them
reminds me of
feel
the
that.
movie We Are Marshall with Matthew McConaughey. And he says, I bet when you were proposing to your wife, I bet you didn't send her a letter, did you?
Nope. I don't. If you did, there was one person that actually just had it out for me in corporate America, and this is when I left corporate America. And she left her husband and her son for a guy she met online and had never met. And that didn't quite work out. She was
Ooh,
back,
yeah.
and I got to see karma, because then she came to my office when I was an area manager for a staffing firm and looking for a job.
Yeah. There's some things you just can't pick up on in text.
Yeah.
You
that's
can pick
right.
up a lot. I mean, in Messenger
Yeah.
and text, things like that. But yeah, there's definitely something about audio and video.
Yeah.
Audio and then video is even more. So like you said, the gestures and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, and you can get people only to a certain point with text and even images or audio, but
Mhm.
really this is affinity in the business world, and of course intimacy in the personal world. It has to be face to face.
yeah.
Right. Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Absolutely.
So that's berelatable.pro/accelerator. Any other like last words of wisdom, anything crazy going on in the marketing world that you want to talk about while we're here as we wrap up?
You know, I just with everything changing the way it changes constantly, if you don't have fun while you're working and doing stuff, there's not really much
Yeah.
point.
That's right.
So however you can do it and create some mischief at the same time, without getting too much in trouble. Yeah, that's you want to talk about the cayenne pepper? That's the cayenne pepper, right? Let's add some mischief to the world.
So let me
Enjoy
ask
the-
this. Speaking of mischief, do you think Jag with their new branding was too much
Ooh.
mischief or just enough? Or
I think it was a mistake. I think
Yeah.
it was a little too much,
Mhm.
especially with the whiplash we just had with our current elections.
Yeah.
Really having a whiplash against that much mischief.
Right.
I think it was ill-timed,
Yeah, it was bad timing.
ill-advised. Yeah,
Terrible timing on their part.
yeah.
My
They weren't
understanding is
reading
this
it.
car doesn't even exist. That they're
No, yeah, they released the concept car this week at the Miami Art Show, not the auto show, the art show. And this
Yeah.
thing has brass and travertine stone on the inside. And
Yeah,
it
in
looks
concept.
it looks like a 1930s Roadster but modernized. You know, it's like
Wow.
you remember the old long front cars
yeah.
from like the
Oh,
30s.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they're going for. And I'm like, nobody knows how to drive that kind of car.
Yeah, no.
It's
How you
gonna be
gonna
up on
park it?
curbs. Yeah, it's gonna be
You're
up
gonna
on
park it?
curbs, scraping people's cars. Like, yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. It's yeah. I think you're right. Timing was a big mistake.
Yeah.
and taking away the symbolic emblem
Oh,
of
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
Jaguar.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
that's
could
what everybody
have
thinks
gone a
about.
whole new style without getting rid of the logo for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
Every-
that's my in-laws had a Jag in the probably late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And that's iconic car, right?
Yeah.
That's an incredible car.
Yeah, especially the XJ series. Those
Yeah.
were. We have a Sport Ute from 2018, I think. We love it, but now I'm embarrassed to drive it because it's like, I
Well,
don't know.
just,
Hey,
you know.
save that emblem. Somebody will steal it.
Yeah, be careful.
But now I'm like, maybe it's a collector's item. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Just keep it in the garage. Don't
Yes.
park it out on the street.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so that's too
Yeah.
much mischief. Thank you very much. But
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
too big of a swing.
yeah, I think so.
there's- That's
It's
like
kind of like they pulled a Budweiser, I think.
Yeah, they just didn't pay attention. Can you just pay
Yeah.
attention? Somebody in
Yeah.
there was not paying attention and had no clue what the real world was doing, what was happening in
Yeah.
the real world. They were just
Yeah.
in their own little world going, "Oh, this will be so cool."
yeah,
No.
it blows me away that. I mean, It's not like these are billionaires in a boardroom. Like these are people that are working at a corporation, maybe
That's right.
making 75, 150, 200,000.
Yeah.
They can't be that out of touch, but
Yeah.
apparently
No.
they are.
Apparently they
Yeah,
are. How
apparently
can
no one-
marketing people? Is there any marketing person you think that actually going to keep their job that is not paying attention to
Yeah.
the world?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bud
Maybe
Light,
he's-
I didn't hear anything about that. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're just so kind of vain that they're like, oh, well, that's
Yeah.
just the rednecks.
Doesn't matter. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
going to
that's
do what we want
right.
them to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably more of an arrogance than anything.
It could be, but again, they should lose their jobs because they're not marketers then. Because it's not
Yeah.
about them; it's about the customer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Like, we own, a Peloton who's been through some controversy, over the last 5-6 years, this Jag. And I can tell you over the last 53 years since I've been alive, I've maybe gotten one survey from a major corporation asking about what I would like in a product.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a single Fortune 100, 250, 500 that I think I've gotten a survey from.
Yeah.
Other than maybe my bank about a recent visit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let me
Right.
ask you that. Let me ask you about that. What would happen? How would you feel about Jaguar if the CEO did a
Mhm.
relatable video and said, you know what? We've gotten a bunch of backlash about this latest ad we did, and I would really love your opinion. Can you just share with me how you feel about it? Because we really want to make sure that we're in touch with what you feel, our customers.
Yeah.
And ask that question. Can you imagine?
Yeah. It'd be a
How would-
big save, but better would have been to do it before they started the
Do
whole
it before, exactly. But even if you don't, that's my point. If the CEO comes on and is human,
Yep.
comes out from their ivory tower and actually comes out acting like they care, whether they do or not, we don't know, but at least saying something about the company and how they feel or asking our opinions. Can you imagine if politicians did this and
Mhm.
actually said, there's a bill going up that I'm going to have to vote on. I really want to know your opinion. What
Yeah.
the heck? You mean we actually have representative government? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would
Wow.
that be?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
whole new vertical for you right there.
Absolutely. I'm just going to say I was talking to Robert Kennedy's team before he opted out.
There you go. Like, yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool to have. Man, and with AI now, what you could do with that data when it came in would just be
Oh, of course. Yeah.
the way you could sort and
Yes.
figure out and make decisions on that would be amazing.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
how about we do those kinds of good instead of the crap we're doing?
Yeah.
I like it. Like
I
it a
wish
lot.
Apple had done that before they got rid of all the useful ports on the MacBook.
Yeah.
Exactly. Before Porsche got rid of its 5 speeds
Okay.
manual transmission.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, what a waste.
Can you even buy a manual transmission car anymore?
There's
Oh yeah.
a few.
It's hard to find.
They're hard to
Yeah.
find, but yeah, there's a few out there. I do think Porsche is keeping one of their models that will have, because there's a certain set of that, audience that pitched a big
Well-
enough fit. They're like, oh yeah, we'll keep it.
Well, remember, they're definitely not going to. If the current climate in California continues, they're not going to be able to sell that car in California because California is
no.
outlawing all gas-powered cars by 2030.
Yeah.
No new sales.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's if that
Or
continues.
lawnmowers, I think, right? I mean, even your lawnmowers have to be electric, right?
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Who knows?
Sorry.
Who knows? Maybe it'll swing the other way.
I think it will. I mean,
Mistake,
I
yeah.
really do. Gavin Newsom's going to be done in 2026, and yeah, I can't imagine it would stay the same. I can't.
Yeah.
It'll be if you get the right person in there, that could be an easy win.
You guys have bigger things to worry about, like tsunamis and wildfires. You don't need to be worrying about.
We don't need to be. Yeah. Well, let's see. Tsunamis, wildfires, homeless, crime rate what is
Right,
it? San Francisco. You have a 70% chance of being involved in a violent crime in the city of San Francisco.
Oof. Yeah.
70.
Yeah, it
That's
hasn't
a
gotten
big
violent
one.
here in Austin, but it's getting streets are getting crowded here in
Yeah.
Austin
Yeah.
too, for
Yep.
some of the same reasons. So
Yep.
Oh,
So
well.
anyway, let's not end on a bad. Let's get back to the fun stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm already done with my my drink. I'm gonna have to go get another one.
Yeah, we're done.
There you
So
go.
that usually means the show's over when your drink's done. So
Thank you guys. Appreciate
Thank you,
the
Mary Catherine.
attention.
That was awesome.
appreciate
We'll
you coming on. And
definitely be posting a link to how our listeners can find out about Be Relatable Pro.
Yeah. I would love that. I would love to help people with relationships. Hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm all for just having conversations
Sure.
with interesting people doing extraordinary things. And I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of us out there doing that.
Yep.
Definitely. All right. Mary Catherine, we're going to put you back in the green room for just a second while we wrap up, and then we'll come back to you.
Ciao.
All right. All right.
Man, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's like once you get your head around kind of what it's doing, then you start seeing different ideas and different ways to use it. So I think something you probably got to play with to really get a handle on and see some use cases. So, get in touch with Mary Catherine.
Yeah.
Either on LinkedIn or at berelatablepro.com/accelerator for her offer there. See what you can do with it. Like make some waves. Be great for realtors too.
Oh, I can think of so many industries right now that could use something like this. I mean, even in mine, Yeah. Who wants to write write a book, or, you think about writing a book, and then if it's in the nonfiction realm that you're already thinking, once you publish that book, how obsolete that thing's from the time that you've published. You're already thinking about, how much I'm going to have to update this thing in 2 years. Right.
Yeah. Unless you got just a super evergreen topic or something.
Yeah. Right. Unless it's timeless, but if it's anything to do with technology or things that are constantly moving, if you're writing a marketing book, I mean, in this day and age with AI, I mean, it's like it's yesterday's news after a year. So
yeah, for sure. All right, let's wrap it up.
Yep. Yeah. To all of our listeners, find us at persuasionbythepint.com. You can find this episode and many others there and on your favorite podcast platforms, whether you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, you name it. You can find this episode 379 and many others there. And you can also find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel there if you're browsing, and check it out. Yeah, leave us 5 stars on the podcast and subscribe to us on YouTube, which our subscribers on YouTube is growing. It's not near what our podcast download count is, but it seems to continue to grow over on the YouTube channel. So
those shorts are working.
Those shorts are working. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see you all next week. We got another guest coming up next week. He's going to be talking about the unconventional ways of selling and some of the unique things that he does to get meetings face to face. And this has more to do with like B2B selling, Sean. So it should be a fun conversation with our guest next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a great weekend. See ya.
See ya.